What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Marsh Boys Podcast. I am your host, Brian.
I am your host, Ryan.
And we're joined once again by Buggy. What's going on, Bug?
Not much. I'm back. Happy to be back.
It has been a while since we've had you on. I will say that.
In the spring, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Was it that long?
Yeah.
We didn't have one in the summertime?
I don't think so.
It was before it started getting warm out, yeah.
Really?
It was in the spring, yeah.
So, how's life been since the spring?
Pretty good. Staying busy. I mean, not that busy, but hunting-wise, yeah, I've been doing good.
How many oysters do you think you consumed in the last 12 months?
That's what you want to talk about, got it.
Too many.
No.
Too many.
Give an estimate.
I mean, how many weeks has it been? And I get 24 a week minimum. So.
Hold on, let's do the math.
Yeah.
What was your math again? So it's 4 weeks in a month.
24 equals 1,248 oysters.
Yeah. I love raw oysters. Love them.
That is a
That's
good
a higher
amount of
number
oysters.
than I thought.
It is a superfood, so they say. Whatever. I just love them.
We talked about this on the podcast before. What did I
Yeah.
call it? A hermaphrodite?
Yeah, remember
It's an
that?
aphrodisiac.
I know it is. I know what it is now.
There's goddamn sea hermaphrodites.
People always say that. I
That's-
don't notice a difference. Maybe I'm just horny all the time. I don't know, but whatever. I really don't notice any difference.
So speaking of being horny all the time, we just got done Coastal, the 3-day banger.
What a transition.
Slide right in there.
Just cranking it on to the next one.
Cranking my hog.
Anyway, we just got done Coastal opener, which we did pretty good in.
Yeah,
should have
yeah.
done better.
Yeah.
Due to personal fault, not the birds. But,
Yeah.
and then we're rocking and rolling into, which I guess Thanksgiving would start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Thanksgiving Day, 28th comes back in.
So, compared to last year, what did you think of opening day this year, Coastal?
Well, I will say this. Opening Day Coastal this year, I mean, the birds are there. They're there.
Yep.
And in very good number.
And the people were not.
And the people were not. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that. There was 3 other trucks at the boat ramp, so we made 4. Yeah, we
One
made
of them
4.
And we knew one of
Yeah.
the guys?
Yeah,
Well,
that was. I mean, where we hunt, everybody knows about it. Everybody and their brother. I mean, I've seen trucks there from with Wisconsin tags going with
Yeah.
guides. I'm like, holy hell! I couldn't believe that there was that few people out there. But
And for some odd reason, even in the busiest years, with people with the most pressure, there's always birds out there.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
well, this year I could say I knock on wood, I think this is going to be a real good season for us. It's shaping up to be. I mean, the birds are here, they're there, and usually they stay out by the coast and all that, but. As far inland as we were, I mean, we weren't necessarily in it. All right, I won't to say exactly where we're at,
yeah.
but where we were for that amount of birds to push that far and
On
see
that
that
calm
many
of a day.
on that
Yeah.
calm of a day, I was like, holy hell!
Yeah.
It was Scoter City. You could have been standing in them decoys with a yellow rain jacket on and swinging at them with a broom, and they would have still came in.
They were about as dumb as Buffy's that day.
Yep, and I was,
And the Bubbleheads didn't want to play. That was the funny part.
Yeah, and it's opening day, but I mean, you'll get that. It's opening day, you know what I mean? They're going to start getting wiser to that, but.
Which is funny, though. So I've read up a little more on guys that shoot bufflehead, especially guys that do go out and target bufflehead, like out in the Midwest and
Great Lakes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Utah, Montana, Idaho, stuff like that. Guys that don't see them, they get them to come through, but they're not like over here.
The giant rafts you see out there.
Yeah. They're. I mean, they say like them kind of buffleheads. I don't know if it is everywhere, but they don't like other birds for some reason.
What it is, I mean, I've noticed. I've had to come into old school long-tail decoys. If you have white out there in that spread,
yes,
they like flock to it. Mojo makes what's the Mojo that flutter? It's just one wing.
Oh yeah.
I forget what it's called.
They're motion wings. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like early in the season, you use those. Man, I've seen guys use
Well, you
those.
probably light them up off of that.
And they lock into it.
Yeah.
Like they'll land right on top of it, right next to it. I don't use them personally because I don't feel like dealing with batteries.
And they're expensive.
And they are expensive, but maybe one day. But as of right now, I haven't used a Mojo in, man, it's probably been over a decade. But
You said the Buffies don't like being with other birds. What about the 2 flocks that the Buffies were flying with the Scoter? The 2 Scoter. Oh no, those were teal.
Those were
Weren't
teal.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we saw no bufflehead when we went with.
Really?
Yeah.
No, not with coats. With Buggy.
We didn't see. I mean, we saw some, but we didn't.
I thought there was
there
some
may have
flying
been
with
a hen. No, not with any Scooter. No.
really.
Yeah.
so we had them cruising behind the long lines. Like
Yeah.
they got close enough to look, and they were like, nah.
Yeah, which close enough.
We don't fuck with your kind.
And they were going like mock Jesus. They were blowing through there.
We had like one hen, kind of like, nah.
And now they would just come around. They'd circle. They'd get next to the long lines and just ride the tailwind right out.
Yep.
They're going, moving. So. Yeah, they really didn't show any interest in us, but you know what? I wanted some Scoter.
Yeah, that's fine. We shot enough Buffies over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
I was like, you know what?
I will always say I love my buffalo heads, but that going out with your setup and shooting what your setup is intended to shoot, yes, I will always love to go out and shoot buffalo heads, but it's so much better shooting Scoter.
Yeah.
You see the stickers Jeff put on the side of his boat?
I did. Yeah, that's
pretty cool.
And those are pictures he took.
Do you think you think they'll work?
I mean,
they're not. He's not putting them out there for decoys.
Yeah, I think it's
that's what one of the top comments was. Now you got 8 more decoys.
Yeah, I think he did that just to break up the profile of that boat. If
Probably.
you know what I mean, just to break up the profile of that big boat.
That or just because he likes Scoter, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the dude, he does very well with them.
Yeah.
I'd be worried if it would deter birds.
No, I don't think it would deter.
I mean, those birds are they like being around their own kind. So if they see something that looks like them,
you got to remember. So remember when he told us like, there's nothing out here to harm these birds.
Exactly.
And you put that plus. He also said him and there's another guy occasionally that hunts out there
in the area.
He's the only boat, and I'm assuming a 10 square mile range.
Yeah.
And with Scoter, like you said, they live that open water lifestyle. They see boats all the time.
Yeah, it's different in the back bays.
I mean, if you come running up on them, they're going to get out of the way. But they see boats all the time, and like you said, there's some predators, but not compared to a puddle duck that's up in the back ditches.
Yeah.
I mean, what do they got? Worry about a shark, an eagle. That's about it.
Yeah,
pretty much. Puddle ducks got to worry about everybody and their brother,
even a channel catfish.
Yeah, they just like I said, like you were saying, it's some of the open water, the way they live. I mean, divers are a little bit different than the sea ducks. I prefer to hunt sea ducks. I mean, I don't have a real big diver rig, but hunting divers is fun, but they pick out that boat more.
Yes, they do. Especially when you get into the bluebills, redheads.
Yeah. So for us, it's always bluebill. I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't seen a canvasback in probably, it's been a long time. You shot the one.
I shot one 3 years ago now.
That's the only one I've ever seen.
That's the first one I've seen hit the water here in Jersey in a very long time.
Yeah, I know Jack and James shot some hens, but it's rare you see somebody shoot a nice drake.
And you can go out and hunt the open waters of, like, I know back in the day was notorious the Delaware River and the upper Delaware Bay for bluebill, canvasback, all that. And I feel like now we could go do it. Like I know right where to go, but I feel like it might be hit or miss if you know what I mean. Or we could just go dump boxes of shells of Scoter. And in my opinion, Scoter is the prettiest bird.
I told you that this weekend too. I love a black duck. I love a black duck's probably my favorite duck there is.
Yeah,
but them Scoter are growing on. Surf Scoter are growing on me. They're just cool.
They're the coolest looking bird. I've
surprised you don't have that tattooed on you yet. You got a card.
Well, it's coming. It might be cut. Stay tuned.
Yeah,
but
you think? I don't know. I still think redheads are the prettiest.
Oh, redheads are a gorgeous bird.
Duck.
Redhead. Hey. Ryan's a pumpkin pounder.
Wait, are you the pumpkin pounder?
Yeah.
That's the name of this episode.
Pumpkin pounder.
Oh
my God. It's close to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, let's talk about pie, dog.
With Thanksgiving coming up, do you have any other... Oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to totally derail the conversation, but you can go. I'll ask later.
Do you have any plans other than that Saturday to Coastal? Or Friday?
Well,
Friday.
I'm going to have to talk to the redhead and figure out. I mean, if we can, I will hunt Thanksgiving Day, Black Friday, because I'm off Black Friday.
Yeah, we already planned.
I'd rather go hunt than Black Friday shopping.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we already have plans. I forgot to tell you. We're going back out with Buggy Black Friday.
We?
Yeah.
I'm in... Okay, as long as... Okay.
Yeah, it's in the works. I'll see what I can come up with, but I'd like to hunt as much as we can, if you know what I mean. Just,
Are you goose hunting with us Thanksgiving morning?
Thanksgiving morning. I have to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And also squirrel hunting.
We
have to do that.
Well, yes, we always squirrel hunt.
Do not.
We haven't.
If you guys are goose hunting, I might come with you, and then we'll open water hunt Black Friday, and that's Saturday.
We'll be... Riley and our buddy Scotty's coming Saturday
okay.
to Brant hunt, so we'll be in the same area.
Okay,
I believe Saturday, but
if you want to, I don't know what you guys are setting up on. We can talk about Brant. I have a ton of Brant silhouettes that I painted up.
Yeah.
With the intention of turning into V boards, and they dropped the limit to 1. I'm like, yeah, no. I'm good.
I would take them off your hands if I had room up in the barn, but we
Yeah.
just put everything away, and it's like that room is cluttered.
Mm-hmm.
And Riley's bringing 3 dozen floaters.
Yeah, 3 dozen floaters would do the trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had intentions on either setting them up on a mud flat at low tide.
Yep.
Or turn them into V boards. And
Yeah.
like I said, they dropped the limit to 1, and I'm sorry, I lost total all interest.
We're doing it just for like a fun little trip.
Yeah, and I know Riley's all into it. Like, they are a cool bird too, Brant. Like you were saying, the black duck. A lot of guys make a big deal. What is it? The North American 41.
Yes.
They make a big deal out of black ducks and Brant. And for us to see them, we're just like, it's a black duck or Brant.
Yeah. Like we saw 300-400 of them that Saturday.
But like you get guys, I've talked to guys like Western Pennsylvania, stuff like that. Like, what the hell is a Brant?
and
I'm
then,
like, wait, you've never even heard of one? And they're like, no. But then you hear guys like, it's one of their target birds. I'm like, dude, we're just used to it. But it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you're sitting there hunting black ducks or whatever, and there's just 400 of them go by you.
Yeah. Like you see guys shooting black ducks, especially like the Mississippi flyway and all that. They make a big deal out of it. Like, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, we don't get these too much. I'm like, shit, for us.
Yeah.
If we were to go hunt out in the marsh near where we hunt now, that's all we'd shoot.
Yes,
Just
exactly.
black duck.
I mean, I went down there and scouted, and I told you I probably saw 200 of them just on the roadway.
We pushed like, I don't know, 7 or 8 of them up when we were leaving to go hunt, last time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially this time of year, black ducks are everywhere.
Yeah, we have a lot of black duck.
I'm ready to derail the conversation.
Go ahead.
Did you try your anchor?
The new anchor up? No, not yet. It's still in my truck bed.
You think it's going to work?
If it don't work, oh man.
I think it's going to work too well. That's the problem. I think there's going to be one yellow foam ball out there, and we just come back to that ball every year.
It's the same spot.
Because it's never going to come the fuck back out.
I think I can pry it up, but I made my own anchor when we sea duck hunted. What was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Oh, that was anchors to hold us.
I found a good spot, and I could tell there was birds just moving right past there. They were coming right past, and like they kind of like wanted to be there. Mm-hmm. Not saying it was on the X, but they wanted to be in that area. So, lo and behold, I get on top of that spot, and it's an entire bed of sea cabbage. Mm-hmm. And I was like,
which is why they're there.
Which is why, if the mollusks and everything they eat are held up in that sea cabbage a lot of the times, I'm like, well, this is it. So I tried to get the boat a little bit further away. And like I ran the long lines that we go to anchor up. I'm like, shit. It's like trying to get a damn fourth anchor to bite on.
Yep.
Like grease covered glass. I'm like, no. So, but we did end up getting her locked in eventually. It took a while. We did miss.
It took probably 45 minutes to get that boat anchored.
I don't think it was 45.
It was close to it.
I felt like it.
Like a half
yeah,
hour.
it definitely felt like it.
But I was trying to get that boat locked down, and I wasn't about to move the decoys because there's ducks landed in the decoys.
The whole time we're trying to anchor.
Yeah, and I was cussing. Like these guys know, I was cussing, not at them, but just in general.
I've never seen
like,
you that frustrated.
I was pissy.
Like you were mad.
There was ducks in the decoys, and I can't get this boat to hold down. But I made my own anchor. We will never have to worry about that again.
Do you want to explain how you made it and what that monster is?
So the anchor I built, I kind of copied. They say they don't really work in sea cabbage and vegetation, but I copied a Delta anchor. Mm-hmm. A 22-pound Delta anchor. It's probably a little big for my boat, but 22 pounds, whatever. So I said, I want to make an anchor that's 22 pounds, and I'm going to make it a little bit different than the Delta anchor. Mine's heavier on the bottom. The shank isn't as long, but it has a, how do I explain it? Like a tighter upward angle. It looks just like almost like a plow. Okay. So
that's when you said it to me. It's like, did you cut that off a Marlboro?
Yeah. So the piece coming down where the rope hooks to is on a pretty steep downward angle, and then the blades of the anchor, it looks like a little plow, are pitched to match that. So when you drag on the rope, it's automatically just going to want to dig. Yeah. Even like I'm not saying you can't pull straight up on it, but you get some slack out and you pull on it, it's going to dig. It goes straight down.
Which is what we need.
Yeah. So I made my own anchor. Everybody's like, "Oh, that's a little ridiculous, don't you think?" I said, "I'm never missing out on ducks again because of a fucking anchor.
Yep.
That is never happening to me again."
Yep.
But
now do you, with that spot we went to, do you think we'll see more people this following week?
Like Black Friday, absolutely, because everybody's off work.
But that was the deal. We went on a Saturday.
I know. I don't even know what to say to that. I've seen guys fist fight over parking spots.
Even down further. I mean, there was when we came back, we didn't see that many boat traffic.
I don't know what to say, bud. I mean, I'm glad nobody else came. Sorry for
me
y'all,
too.
but I mean, you know what I mean.
Now-
There's still people like tromping around through the fucking reeds and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of
there,
guys will
too.
bank hunt over there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's like
Yeah.
a big thing there. It's
Yeah.
always a bunch of them walking around in those little puddles and
Yeah.
shit up there.
Now, what I will say to that, when I went the weekend before, it was very, very windy and choppy, so you couldn't really see a whole lot. But I saw black ducks, and that was it.
Yeah.
So, brant on the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw some brant and what I thought were Scoter, but I saw nothing where we hunted.
Of that sort, yeah.
Yeah.
they were
And
in
we
there
were
that day.
whatever I was looking at was wrong, apparently.
First light, they were there.
And
They
it was
were there.
weird because it got warmer from that Saturday to the opening day.
Mm-hmm. And we took a gamble early in the season too when we went to the South Zone opener. Hunt
Yeah,
down there. Yeah,
I, like you said, we glad we could say we tried it.
yeah.
But I and back to the whole Delaware Bay conversation. I think 30 years ago that was probably one of the most premier places in the.
I mean, like
East
even
Coast
talk
to hunt.
about Fortescue and all
Yeah,
that, everybody
absolutely.
would go there and diver hunt and sea duck hunt. They would shoot Scoter, bluebill, like it was a big thing.
Yeah,
Anymore, I like talk to guys that used to do it. I knew a few guys that did it, and it's just become less and less of a thing.
Yeah. I
And
mean-
there was even guys that would come set up on the bank.
yeah.
They barely got a shot off at anything, but
They
every
did it.
once in a while,
Yeah.
they'd get one that would come their way.
And now you don't hear. I mean, as many people as we've talked to, as we know, as you've started talking to, you talk about wanting to diver hunt or sea duck hunt the Delaware Bay. They're like, "What are you doing that for?"
Yeah, I've heard. I'm gonna be honest with you. Probably 4 guys tell me there ain't no divers on that bay anymore. There ain't no divers out there. Like, not saying they're not out there, but not in the numbers they used to be. And it's just, it's a matter of time of like the sea ducks. They're like Jeff Coates even said, like they're a calendar. You can count on them on the calendar day when
Yes.
they're coming.
Yes.
They're not like where the divers. They'll get here later if you know what I mean.
I know it seems like the divers in general, so redheads, canvasback, bluebills, they're going to piddle around a little more.
Yeah.
So they might still venture into the bay.
Yeah.
But I remember us talking about it. I think them Scoter are hitting Cape May and shooting right down to Delaware.
Yeah, they could be. Yep.
Especially this time of the year when
Now-
it's warmer out, not as rough.
I don't know how much a Scoter. I don't know his territory for a day like during the migrating season. I don't know how far they will go to get food.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't know what I mean, if they'll just stay down in Maryland or come back or trade back and forth. I really don't know. I just go where they're at.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So, but
I wonder if that is something they do. If this whole season right now, they're just kind of dicking around. Because
I mean a lot. I mean
That's what Jeff said, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
he said
They're
you'll
going
see 'em
back and forth.
trading back and
Yeah.
forth. There'll be ducks flying north south, like not east west, but
North
north
and
south.
south,
Yeah,
yeah.
they'll be trading off. But like some of those Scoter make it all the way down to Florida. I mean,
I know the Outer Banks is a big place to kill them.
Yeah, I
too.
know Pimlico Sound in North Carolina is those
Yeah.
guys tear them up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, some of them get all the way down that far. But I think our overwintering population is pretty good too. We have quite a few that stay all
Oh,
winter,
yeah, absolutely.
so it's worth
I
doing.
mean, we didn't shoot. We shot all but 3 last year, but we still saw them by the thousands every
Yeah.
time we went.
Yep.
Every time we tried.
Yeah,
I think it worked out better this year opening day because of the less amount of people that we had to fight with.
yeah,
We got there. That counters into the less amount of people. We got there and didn't feel rushed to get a spot, so we could kind of watch,
Yeah.
take it slower out and watch for these birds at first
yeah.
light.
And we're coming away from home too. So
Yes.
not saying that's a disadvantage because we can always get up early, but
But that's
it's
also the nice thing.
that's always fun.
That's a nice thing about your rig, though.
Yeah.
Is there's plenty of water out there.
Yeah. Open water hunting, it's not
Yeah.
like backditch hunting. It's not like
not
you
like
roll up on somebody.
Everybody wants that one corner. You know the corner I'm talking to.
Now, and we are in Jersey. I will say this: you guys saw last day of Coastal Zone last year.
Oh, there's a bunch.
We were hammering them, but
Yeah.
out in that open water, there was at least there was 3-4 other guys out there.
I know for a fact there was 4, I don't know what you call them, 4 like charter boats that were running birds back to guys and guys out to layout boats. So I don't know how many people were. I know there was them 2 low boats that had the layout boats.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there
There
was
was
a couple
2
other
layout
layouts.
boats. There was 2 guys running layout boats. There was us, and then there was these younger guys behind
Yeah,
us.
the younger guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just.
And I mean to tell you that I felt pretty good about that day too, because we did not all the shooting, but we did most of the shooting that day.
We shot what, like 14 buffalo that day? And,
Yeah, we did a lot of banging that day.
yeah.
But and it was it was buffalo heads, and I didn't even bring the Scoter rig out. I thought, you know what, let's just, I know the buffalo heads are here. Let's just go out with a bang. It's the last day of the season. So we just brought out a diver rig, a bufflehead and bluebill, and that was it. And
Yep.
we saw a few Scoter, but nothing crazy.
Yeah. And we also weren't that far out.
We weren't that far out, so whatever, it was fine.
I'd like to get a bluebill this year, I think. Just something different. I would like to get one of the strange ducks I've never had the chance to get yet, because Scoter,
a bluebill. I have one in the freezer. I still got to take. I actually shot it in New York. The 3 I shot in Jersey fucking disappeared on me.
Yeah, I will say, Drake bluebill, they're tough. A Drake bluebill is just like a Drake bufflehead. They're tough.
But I wouldn't put them in the odd category. They're
odd for me. That's why I said
I could see.
I haven't shot one yet.
Oh well,
I haven't shot at one.
I was going to say every bird's odd for you.
Yeah.
You shot a mallard, a Scoter, and a bufflehead.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
wood duck. Sorry, wood duck.
Bluebill, or I some days with bluebill, I don't know. I'm not that big of a diver. Like I said, my preference is sea duck, but I will target bluebill here and there. And the thing with bluebill is some days, dude, they're just dumb. Mm-hmm. They want in on it. And then some days you'll see a singles or pairs, and they're just like, you might get a passing shot. They're cruising.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but
it's the rut.
Yep. Yeah, something. Yeah, and I'm a firm believer in, like, I've noticed it personally with my boat, and I know I don't necessarily have a blind built on my boat, but like the Scoter will do it, the bufflehead will do it. I think the two that won't do it, that don't like that big boat, are the old squad, the longtails.
They want to know. I know that we saw a couple groups.
They're picky with everything. They're even picky with the layout boats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way to kill longtail ducks, in my opinion, is a layout boat. If you want to kill old squad
decoys.
Yep, old squad decoys.
Don't get me wrong,
and
they
boat.
came in, but they're picky. Yeah. They were picky.
Now I've had some, like last year, you guys didn't see, but I think I told you I had 2 hens that came in. They came in through decoys, and they were stupid. They flew right down the rope and just they weren't even cruising. They just flew right down the rope, got out of there, and I saw them. It was 2 hens. I was just like, whatever. Not that I'm above shooting a hen. I will shoot a hen.
Yeah.
But I was just like, let them go. Let them go make more for next year. That's fine.
Yeah, and that we kind of did the same thing at the end of the hunt that Saturday. I mean, we had a chance while the motor wasn't even started. We were still pulling anchors. We had a chance to shoot probably 2 or 3 more.
Well, that was my thing. I don't know about you guys. I was satisfied.
We were mostly drakes.
Yeah,
we did crazy.
We could have stayed there till 1 in the afternoon, but I was satisfied with the day. I said, you know what? They'll be back in 2-3 weeks. That's fine. Like,
you need to get a little porta-john on that boat.
Yeah. Or at least a bucket.
Yeah. I had the bucket. I took it off.
Standing off the transom of that boat is
that's fine. That's doable. I can handle that, but when you got to go number 2.
Yeah.
I have dude wipes in the bag.
You kind of have to go in when you have to go.
We are no way affiliated with dude wipes unless they want to sponsor us. I'm just saying they're $3.39 at Walmart.
I wipe with those dudes.
The big boat, it's been working out pretty good for me. I've had it for, a few years now. Mm-hmm. And the main premise of that boat, like, yes, I fish off that boat. And it's not ideal with the way I have the console and all that. But you got to remember, I use that boat all summer.
Yes.
That boat isn't just a hunting boat.
Yeah.
I mean, the premise of it was I bought that boat to hunt out of. That was the main reason for getting it. But I still fish and crab and do everything off that boat. So having it set up the way it is, it works out good for me for an all-purpose boat.
Big and open, and you can put the seats wherever you want.
Yeah.
Like...
I crab off that boat, catch striper, catfish, perch.
It handles
waves. We go
waves.
croaker fishing, crabs, handles waves. And then I even shoot railbirds out of that boat. I railbird hunt. It is the most obnoxious.
I was going to say.
It is I sweat push pulling that boat, but it is.
Push pulling a 19-foot.
19 and a half if the ladies ask. That's what it is. 19 and a half. Big deep V. I push pulled it this year, and that's another thing. Me and John, we railbird hunted. And same thing with that. I was satisfied with the morning. We went out there. We shot a 1-man limit. It was the 2 of us. Yeah. But I go about doing it a little bit different than guys do it down south. But we had a hell of a time.
There are rigs down south for doing that with them platforms and them 13-foot V-bottom fiberglass boats.
Well, they do the shallow draft flat bottoms.
Yeah.
And they push pull through the high grass. See, they hunt them at high tide, like a flood tide.
Yeah, and they push pull through the grass.
Through the grass. We don't have that. Yeah. I mean, we do if you hunt a nor'easter like flood tide. But for me, I hunt them at low tide.
Yep.
I hunt them when they come out to eat, and I push pole and stuff like that.
Which is wild because the ditches you float down are just a foot wider than the boat.
And you know what? I will say this. There must be something to that bag rate paint job because even the clapper rail don't run from it.
You've had something stirring in your mind for a little bit.
This is a good transition point.
Okay.
Buggy, I would call you the connoisseur of shooting odd game animals.
I know. I like different stuff.
This brings me to something we've been talking about this week.
Yeah.
With Brian and Jimmy and I. Eastern starlings.
Well, they're European starlings.
European starlings.
Yeah. That was the funniest, most well-timed trail cam picture.
Show them the picture of Jimmy.
I'm sorry, I'm wrong. It's I believe it's a Eurasian starling, and the reason why they're here so bad, they're a European bird, and they introduced them to try to help with bug and mosquito population.
Jimmy said, "Well, there goes 40 pounds of corn."
Yeah,
and then he sent one today. He said, "There goes the other pile of corn."
Yeah. No, but those birds, they are pretty. We have them very, very, very
bad.
I guess,
especially when you're trying to deer hunt at 9 o'clock.
Dude, it's like a riot of birds. I don't know any other way to explain.
I always just throw away a little bit of scrap food every day. Whatever I'm eating, I'll throw something out there. Dude, I watch 300 starlings fight over one piece of pizza crust. It's funny. But yeah, starlings, they're. Yeah, and they will destroy your bait. I mean, blackbirds even worse for destroying your bait pile, but starlings will do it too.
Yeah, and there's freaking 6 of them dead up in my attic right now. They're the stupidest birds ever.
Well, the problem is with starlings too. You get them real bad. I mean, for us, here, my dad's had issues with it where they'll get in a creep feeder for calves, and they'll eat and shit in a creep.
It's not toxidia.
It's coccidiosis. They get it from bird shit. Yeah.
Yep, we've had calves die of that.
Mm-hmm. Because they ate bird shit that was disease from them starlings getting in the bird feeder. Now, I'm not saying that specific turd was from a starling, but there was 100 starlings in there and 2 sparrows. So you know what I mean?
I guess my first question with that would be, if they didn't have the stupid rules about hunting them, would you hunt them just for fun?
Probably not. I don't know. I got so much other shit going on.
You'd have to buy 8,000 starling decoys.
Yeah.
I wish they would put on a thing like... You can hunt them by any means necessary.
I mean, I have crow hunted. Crow hunting it's tricky. That's tough.
Crow hunting's very.
They're smart. Tricky. They have funerals for their deceased brethren, dude, and they will hold a grudge.
Yeah. Yep. They can count. They're as smart as your average 5-year-old.
Yeah.
They can count to 7 or 8. Yep. They are slick, dude. They know. You think you got to get camoed up to turkey hunt? I don't know if you ever crow hunted, but yeah.
We tried it one time in the hayfield.
Yeah.
And it was we could have shot one, but
yeah. I
also don't know what I would do with a crow if I shot it.
Mount it.
We ate it, and it was different.
Ooh, you ate crow? One?
Mm-hmm. It's different.
What did it taste like? Did it taste like bad luck?
No.
Oh.
It was very, not like a sea duck strong, but it was
very
strong,
livery.
Very livery, very red. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's something I've been talking a lot at work.
They eat a lot of grain, though. I mean, it wasn't terrible. I'm not gonna lie. It would taste better than a clapperrail. I'm not gonna lie to you. But
better than a mud chicken.
Yeah, better than a mud hen. But
shit. What was I gonna say? Oh, we were talking at work, and I found the way to describe gaminess to people. Mm-hmm. If I'm talking to somebody that's never really had wild game, especially duck meat, goose meat, something very dark.
Yeah.
I describe it as, have you ever had liver?
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what it's just
it's stronger meat.
No, it is.
Is it?
Right.
Because I had what is it when they put the mushed up liver in the jar and
pate?
Pate.
Yeah,
I've had that.
Liver. Yeah.
That's liver.
Oh yeah, it's calf's liver, right? Mm-hmm. Pate.
It is liver.
It's veal liver. I'm pretty sure.
It's not good.
No, it's not.
But I don't get that from
raw meat.
I think pate's veal liver. I could be wrong. I
it
think
wasn't
that's
raw.
liver.
I'm pretty sure they have to cook it. Don't they?
No,
they eat that raw.
Yeah, I think if it was it mushy?
Yeah,
pate comes raw.
Fuck,
yeah. That's what it is.
And tartar's
raw.
That's just ground meat. That's raw.
Yeah. Okay. Beef tartare, wherever the fuck I had that at, was pretty fucking good.
It was good. I like it.
You can make it good.
Yeah. I like it with people like it white. I like it with red onion. I know. I love red onion.
I think mine had red onion in it too.
I love red onion with tartare.
I like red onion in general. If I cook anything and it has onions in it, I cook red onion.
I like all onions. I matched my deer steak to onion ratio last night of 1-to-1. There was a pile of onions on top of 2 giant deer steaks.
And I will say this, them Scoter, a lot of people say they eat like shit. And I'm not
going to... No, they don't.
I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say it's the best meat I ever ate. But I'll say this, it's not bad. You made it, and it was good.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Better than Buffy?
Better than Bufflehead.
Better than Bufflehead.
I was going to say that.
I can still make a Bufflehead taste pretty dang good. And and what I posted on the Marsh Boys story the other day, is completely true. So Erin had set out, I didn't know, but she had set out some Scoter. She texted me when I got home and said, hey, there's Scoter in the microwave.
Yeah.
Just cook that up for dinner. And I'm like, well, I don't have any time to brine this, whatnot. So I took 2 slabs of bacon, and if anybody wants the recipe, I'll gladly send it to you. You don't have to go to the Patreon to get this one.
Mm-hmm.
I took 2 slabs, two pieces of bacon, cooked it in a pan, kept all the grease in that pan, took the bacon out, obviously, put butter in it.
Yeah.
Cook that down. Put some garlic powder and Papa Earl's, spicy Papa Earl's in the butter, in the grease butter mixture. Cooked my Scoter in that with just salt, pepper, and spicy Papa Earl's on it.
Yeah.
And then cooked that till it was. I've been eating them at medium rare.
Mm-hmm.
Cook them at medium rare.
Yeah.
Set them to the side, and then I made a little I guess people call it pan dripping gravy out of it. So I just added a cup of milk,
Flour.
2 teaspoons of flour, a shit ton of garlic powder, mixed that, a lot of black pepper. I love black pepper and gravy. Mixed that together, put rice in it, and then mixed the bacon and the Scoter in. Buggy, I swear to you, I should have recorded everything. That was the best wild game dish I've ever cooked.
And Scoter's not, like I said, it's not bad meat. And in my personal opinion, clean them like buffalo heads. You know, they're tough. They're tough.
Yeah.
But when you go, like I go to breast them out, I'll sit there and like feathers everywhere. Like we're a Scoter. I mean, their feathers are tighter. The skin is a lot thicker, a little bit tougher.
I will say with a Scoter, it's hard to get them feathers out other than another.
I would rather clean 100 Scoter than 5 buffalo heads.
Yeah.
Because I can knock them out.
Yeah.
I don't even pluck them.
That's what he did. You just pulled the chest cavity.
I got to the point now where even with the buffalo head, I make a little cut.
Yes.
And,
rip it open.
But you're right.
You do buffalo head, dude. The neighbors got feathers all in their yard. Every time I do buffalo head, they're just everywhere.
It's the same thing as geese.
She ain't there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's buffalo head feathers blowing down the road. I'm
the
like,
cats
oh boy.
eat them.
And I'm not even being rough. I'm just, making a small incision, opening up the chest cavity. That's all I'm trying to do. And it's like my hands are in feathers. And
I hate that. Like I said, skinning geese or breasted out geese is the worst for that because they got them under feathers.
Yeah, they're down. A goose down is very, it's thick.
Mm-hmm.
You get all them little feathers on you.
You ever think, and I think about this every single time, you know how the Indians used to use every part of a bird?
Yeah.
You ever think about just taking all the feathers we just throw away and making a pillow out of it?
I mean, you can.
No.
I've
never thought
I've
about
had
it.
Every time I do it, I'm like,
I've had feather pillows
soft.
in my house. I can tell you this, like we got rid of them. Like the quills would poke out the pillow every once in a while.
That's why you get
I'm
the
like,
down and not the big one.
Yeah, I was like, this shit's too classy. Like it was down, but
classy.
it was down. But every once in a while, you get one, one of the bigger, I guess, be a pin feather in there.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It
wasn't a big feather, but it was a pin feather, and it was sharp, and it would poke out the pillow. So I cut them open. It was all white. It was all domestic goose feathers.
Yeah.
That's one thing they used to do. I don't know if they still do it. I think it's still business. And what was it like? I think Iceland, they harvest eider down.
Oh.
So they take eider hens off the nests and they take the down.
Oh, so when the nest is all done, they go and get.
No, they take them. I
They
don't
take
know
the
this.
live bird.
They just take the hen, pick her up, steal some of her down, and put her back on the egg.
Yeah, so it's just like a goose. They pick their down for the nest.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
goose not as much, but.
and I assume she makes more. I haven't looked that much into it, but I saw it and I was like, huh. I guess it's a big thing.
I mean, there's not a lot to do up there.
Because eider down is supposed to be like the nicest, like it's waterproof, like it's supposed to be the warmest down of all birds. And eider is a hardy bird.
Yes, they are. So. I know you're kicking me. Go ahead.
There is one thing I did want to talk about that I saw on Instagram.
Hold on, real quick. Here it is. Supreme Quilts. 100%.
How much?
Big money. Big money.
And this is on sale.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Ultralight baffle box double bed size quilt, 100% Icelandic eider down, one blanket on sale, $2,000. Not on sale, $3,600.
Nah,
Damn, I'm good.
This one is a 3 blanket warmth and it's $5,000.
I don't want to get my juices all over a $5,000
blanket. And how I know this shit, I don't know. But I heard it somewhere and I looked it up. That's my thing. Like,
first thing to kill Icelandic
eider down. Yeah. I heard it somewhere and I was like, I got to look this shit up. And it's just videos of Icelandic people with trash bags kicking hens off. Not kicking. They pick them up. Yeah. They pick them up and move them, steal most of the down. Because the hen, I would hope, the hen just puts more down.
Looks burly. Looks nappy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Honey, if we're going to do this, we got to go in the other room. That is my $5,000 blanket.
I don't think it's machine washable either.
Nope. Get away from it.
It'd just be a lump.
You are sleeping with all your clothes on, and so am I. The thing I was going to say was I saw on Instagram, have you seen those late season wooden, I don't even know what to call them. They're like decoys, but you put the actual real duck skin over it.
Yes.
Yeah, what do they call them?
Yes.
A lot of guys that hunt cranes use them.
Yeah, and I've seen what Ryan's talking about. It's a floater. It's weird because it still has a little bit of the mallard base, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
They have like a split right here that has the colors, and then like you still have to take the head off, which I don't know how the fuck they do that, but there's like a whole kit to do it with your live birds.
Yeah.
And I will say,
not
I don't know
live.
how many of you guys actually skin birds for taxidermy. I've watched my aunt do it for years.
It's like a
never do it.
pain in the
Dude,
ass.
oh man. Like, you have to flesh a duck.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to do it with a pair of scissors.
Yep.
You can't use a draw knife on a duck. You have to sit there and do it. I mean, you would talk about tedious. Like mountain ducks, everybody that does it, I'm not saying it's easier than a deer, but man, it's tedious work. It is a lot of work.
I don't understand why they would do that. Like, I get it. Like, they're a lot smarter late season. I understand that. But the amount of time you have to put into getting that not to look like, Meat Eater's calendar of terrible mounts. Like, I don't know how.
Yeah.
Like, the dude on the ad looked great. I don't know how he did that.
Yep.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, mountain ducks. I did a couple myself with somebody standing right over my shoulder watching me, making sure I didn't mess up.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'm not even going to attempt this on my own. Like stand here and make sure I don't mess this up.
Yeah.
Like I'm 3 hours in. Like I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad.
Damn man. Like you gotta flush it.
Oh shit!
But yeah, mountain ducks they're such a I'm not saying they're all fragile, but it's way more fragile than a deer pelt. If you know.
Yeah,
what I mean.
well, absolutely.
Nah, just freeze them and put them on the grinder.
I mean, you see it just when you. I mean, even let's say skinning a possum.
Yeah.
Yeah? What do you know about that?
Well, I'm fixing to. I did. I caught my first possum today.
Caught a grinner and
A grinner and a DP.
Yeah. The dog proof trap.
Uh-huh.
Was he dead when he got there?
No,
he
was
wasn't.
playing
He was
possum.
Playing possum.
I saw him twitch his ears because that's the only reason I saw him. He was like he had leafed himself in.
Yeah.
And I walked up on the trap and I'm like, where's the fucking trap at?
Yeah.
And then he's sitting behind a briar bush, all nestled in, and I'm like, all right.
I feel bad about possums. Unpopular opinion.
I don't. There's fucking 20,000.
They're not
There's
as
no-
invasive
there's
as
no-
raccoons.
Yeah, there's no shortage of possum.
There's
They're
no
there.
shortage of
But there's not
anything
as
like
many,
this.
and they don't really.
Yes, there is.
They don't fuck anything up as bad as raccoons. Raccoons like to turn other animals into sock puppets.
Yeah. Yeah, eat them from the... Yeah.
Yeah, possums don't really like to do that.
Possums, I will say this, like when I used to coon hunt all the time, I had a lot of feeders for breaking young dogs for pups, and coons would run from the possum. Like
Really?
I got some big long-tailed possum in there. Everything would run, even a skunk.
Really?
Well, a skunk and a possum were the two meanest things. I would just sit there and watch all the videos of them. I'd just sit there for hours and watch. It was hilarious.
I used to have a trail cam picture of
Yeah.
a possum scaring off deer.
Yeah, a possum, if something like a coon or a skunk walks up on a possum, they're pretty...
Aren't they related to
they defend
badgers?
themselves.
What, possums?
Yeah.
A skunk is, but not a
Skunk is.
possum.
Oh, a
A
skunk
possum is North America's only marsupial.
Marsupial, yeah. They're also immune to venomous snake bites and rabies.
And rabies, yes.
People don't know that. Their body temperature's too high
Yep.
for the rabies virus to live in it.
They are very, very, very good.
They're
for the,
good for the environment.
Yes.
Raccoons
Yes.
are not good for the environment. That's why I
Well,
don't really feel
everything
bad.
has a place in
Yeah.
the ecosystem. It's just
Raccoons are out of control.
if you look at South Jersey, if you look at New Jersey as a whole, from Lumberton south, that's where 80% of your hunters are.
Mhm.
That's also where 90% of your trappers are.
Yeah.
But only 0.2% of New Jersey's population are trappers
Yeah.
that actually trap.
I give you guys credit. I always said I was going to do it, wanted to do it, and
You still can do it.
I know.
I think
All you
it's
gotta
really
do
fun.
is do the class one time.
Because now, I ran hounds for
Oh, I got two
and-
raccoons and two raccoons and a 9-pointer on camera as we speak.
Yeah. I remember, running hounds. It was awesome. I ran redbone dogs, and it just got to the point where we were trespassing, and not even on purpose. We're just trying to get our dogs
Following
back.
the dogs.
Following the dogs. Those dogs don't know no trespassing signs. I mean, it got to be a lot. And I not saying I had enough. I swore I'd never get rid of the dogs, but eventually I did. And staying out all night. I mean, actually, I think...
It was fun in high school.
Yeah, previous podcasts ago, we were talking about
Yes.
it, and one of the guys I worked with was like, dude, Like if you did the math, like you could have went to night school and probably had at least an associate's degree in one winter.
Yeah.
Like all the time you spent out in the woods coon hunting. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, but what's more fun?
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
I can tell you from experience, the degree is not more fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't even get your degree.
Does that tell you everything you need to know?
Dude, yeah, it was a lot of fun, but it got to be a lot, and yeah.
Well, that's kind of what because I really like. So last year was our first year trapping, and I set a goal 30 coons.
Yeah.
And I thought that would be like, oh well, if I catch a coon a weekend, or 2 coons a weekend.
I don't think that's an unrealistic goal.
No, and it's
You
not.
have
that's
more
not at
traps than
all.
us. We're only setting 6, 12 traps,
Yeah.
But what the unrealistic standard is like, what am I going to do with 30 coons?
Mm-hmm.
That's the hard part.
Yep.
And now I'm just like, I got the coon and the possum in the freezer. That's going to Kyle Fisher.
Yeah, yeah. You gonna have him tanned it or?
Yeah, we did. I want to fill that whole wall where that board is. I want to fill that with hides.
I wish I could figure out. I wish I could have figured out how to do it. I guess I can try again this year. But like the one that I got fully fleshed out still ended up rotting, and I don't know why. I put all the shit on. I thought I did what I was supposed to do. It hung up. My dad said that there was maggots in it, and he threw it in the trash.
Probably just didn't get all the fat and the grease off.
So
I thought there was nothing else coming off. Like it was cold as shit, and I'm running the knife down, and there's like nothing coming off.
Run the draw
anymore.
knife on it. Yeah.
It could have been where the skin meets the very outside of it.
If I pressed, and I tried down at the bottom, if I pressed any harder, it was just ripping the hide.
So with me, what I did with mine back in the day, I didn't tan my own. So what I would do, I had the stretchers. I would turn them inside out, put them on a stretcher, hang them off the garage door track. And I would
That's
hang them in
exactly
there.
where mine was.
And I don't know if they're probably still in business, but I took mine to Xander's in Mickleton.
Yeah.
Or I'd have a buddy take them for me when he
Wait,
took
hold on.
his.
Xander's in Mickleton or Xander's and Mickleton?
In Mickleton.
Okay, all right.
And they're like fur's not a very big thing in the U.S. anymore.
Yeah.
But overseas,
I've 100%
it is still
heard.
a very big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And-
The fur prices in Jersey and the Jersey sale went up a little bit last year for the.
It ain't a livable thing. People used
No,
to be able
absolutely
to.
not.
People used to be able to trap all winter season, and that could be their living for the year.
Well,
Like
I know guys that said like, yeah, I quit running dogs when the 22-inch pelt went under $75.
Under $75.
For a 20-inch pelt, I was getting like 20. I mean, I was averaging like a 20-inch pelt stretch, like real big. I had a couple 2-footers. That's a big boar coon, but I mean, we get like $12 for the nicest of the nice.
Now it's like
in the wintertime,
$8.
they get that gray to them, like really nice looking.
They get the dark gray, like a cat.
Yeah, and like they're real, hair's real nice on them. And we would sit there with the Scotch combs I stole from my dad, and we would sit there and comb out all like the dirt, and
burrs,
shit.
the dirt,
all the
the
shit that
mats.
got in them. Like we were all into it, but I know some guys were like blow drying them. You know what I mean? Make sure there's no moisture on it before you turned it inside out and
with
stretched
head
it.
and shoulders.
Yeah, I
Really
didn't
get
do all
in there
that,
with the
but
thing.
No, I mean, there's guys. Everything I've watched on YouTube is I watch a lot of the Coon Creek Outdoors guys.
Yeah.
And they have a specific washer. They wash.
Oh yeah,
Are they the same brand that made my call, Coon Creek? Because that call is Coon Creek.
It might be. Are they mainly a trapping site? I thought there was a Coon Creek.
Coon Creek, yeah, Coon Creek.
That's
calls.
where. No, it's not Calls. It's Coon Creek Outdoor.
Yes, but is it under? Are they part of the same? Anyway, I know you think that's ridiculous, but the fact that I can whistle "Happy Birthday" in really bad times made it worth the money.
now with the
not Coon Creek.
and that's one thing with with open water hunting, like I've been doing. I do miss calling. That's why I'll go with you guys and goose hunt here and there. I let you guys have the whole rig and trail. That's awesome. I'm not knocking you guys for it, but you guys got the goose rig. I got the open water rig.
Exactly.
We'll figure something out.
That's a pretty damn good compromise between the two of
Yeah,
us.
exactly. Yeah, we both have a lot of time and money invested in it. So
Did you go look up in the room? I just got 2 fucking jet sleds and a bunch of, four goose floaters.
oh yeah.
And they take up more space than most of the other shit.
Yeah,
No,
goose
I know.
decoys take up a lot, especially floaters.
Floaters, yeah.
I will say this though, since we've been doing the open water stuff, and I've had all different kind of decoys. Everything from like
We started with bluebill and bufflehead,
like the
and I went to old school and a dozen Scoter.
yeah, and then it was Scoter. I got more Scoter. So right now the Scoter rig. I mean,
You have what, 4 dozen Scoter?
so I run if we were going to Scoter hunt, I run 4 dozen Scoter. On
2 dozen on your.
I run 2 dozen on a Southern Flyway decoy raft, and then off the decoy raft I run a 140-foot doctory long line, and then another 140-foot doctory long line on its own.
Yeah.
I used to run 90s. If you're going to buy long lines, 90s
90s, I feel like work for bluebill, bufflehead, your diver ducks.
Yes, for really getting those Scoter out there, though, the 140 footers were the way to go.
Yeah. You can space your
And
birds out.
and they're not super expensive. You know what I mean? It's quarter-inch tarred rope. And I know what was it Easy Deeks makes them now. Like, everybody makes the long lines. I mean, not everybody. A lot of people make
I would say,
lines.
yes, there are a lot of companies that make long lines. The two I would 100% go with is Easy Deeks and Doctari.
Yeah.
From you using the Doctari, us having the Easy Deeks. And we have the Easy Deeks because we met them at the show.
Yeah. And I heard Easy Deeks, I don't know, but I heard theirs is pretty soft.
Yes.
Like, it's malleable.
We don't have the tarred rope.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be just fine, especially for the way we use them.
Yeah.
And I think with the barrels that you use, the tarred rope is like perfect.
Yeah, well, tarred rope, when you get it new, it's kind of a pain in the ass.
Oh, it's sucked to set.
Yeah,
but picking it back up,
it's
just
stiff.
with 3 hours, 4 hours worth of soak time.
Yeah, once it soaks in the water, it gets a lot softer. But when you get it brand new, it's like a lasso.
Yeah.
It has memory, like mono fishing line. It's not a pain in the ass, but it can be, if you know, especially when you're dealing with black rope in the dark. You know, the night before.
Black rope and black fucking coated lines for the decoys.
With black droppers.
And if you have gloves on, you can't tell the difference anyway.
Exactly. And I'm out there doing it in the dark the night before. It wasn't my fault. I ordered long lines a little too late, and they came in just in time. I was like, yes. Because the 90 footers, like I said, the 90 footers are going to stay with my diver rig. They'll stay on the diver rig, but the 140s, they're staying on the Scoter. And no more. Remember, we used to. I'd be like, I don't know what I want to do. I was just him hawing. Like, you would come over and we'd switch them all.
Yeah, no, none of that anymore.
None of that anymore. I'm done. I am done with that.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all.
Each one gets its own line.
Yeah. So every rig I have now has.
Well, no. So what it was is Buggy only had like what 2 long lines.
Yeah.
So
and I don't know why I didn't buy more. Like
the night
such an
before,
idiot. I'm sitting there with a case of beer I just spent $30 on for $25. Got a whole nother rope. I don't know what I was thinking. I have no idea.
I mean, last year every time before we'd hunt because it would be bufflehead Scoter, bufflehead Scoter, bufflehead Scoter. Yeah. And we'd go over there and we'd stretch them out and switch the decoys.
Yeah. Now what I like about the 140s is I can really kick them decoys out there that much further. So with the Scoter, I'll set up like I have my raft. A lot of guys don't like the raft, and I'll be honest with you.
I think the raft is.
I like it
Chef's
too.
kiss.
And you know what? You guys put it out, not me. Because if I was putting it out, I'd say, fuck this thing. That thing is heavy as shit. It's, oh, man. But I will tell you this. It looks like a raft of birds.
Yes, it does.
The only thing I can say, I'm not knocking Southern Flyway. I see videos of, like, they'll have that thing, like the same raft I have, the bigger raft, loaded down with diver decoys and these rollers, you know what I mean? And they're just taking it. When that water starts capping, it looks like I have some feeder Scoters out there.
Yeah.
Like, I will say, I don't know any other way to prevent that. Like, you can hook both ends to the raft, so you can hook the decoy on the front and the back to the raft.
So if it goes down.
Yeah, so some decoys are locked in so they don't move. Where for me, I noticed, that's my thing with Southern Flyway, I hooked quite a few of them, not all of them, but at least the ones around the edge perimeter and some of them in the center so they wouldn't move. They were locked in on both ends. Every one of those hooks I had on the back, the long line clips to go to the raft, broke.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, hell with that. I took them all. Like, the ones that were left, which weren't many, I took them off.
What's the nice thing is they still set back down. So, I mean, when them rollers come and if you have birds moving, it does add more motion to it.
So I just set it up just like your cell phone signal bars. Right at the raft, I hook a raft right to it, right after the raft as close as I can get it. I have one decoy, and those are a couple feet apart. The next set, a couple feet apart, and at the further we go, it's just I'll open that distance up.
Yep.
So at the end of the rope, they're really far apart. We're talking like, I think at the end now.
3 feet?
Nah, at the end, they're close to like 15, 20 feet apart.
What happened with the one
Remember the last decoy you thought I lost it?
Yeah,
you're like,
it looped around.
That's what I was just about to ask. How did that end? How did that work out with it being like such a hard angle from the rest of the line?
So I threw a lot of slack in that because I chucked that one. I threw a lot of slack.
I understand that, but
the tide turned.
Yeah, but the next one was such a weird angle back from the one that had the anchor on it.
So it could have been that the tide had turned because it was straight.
It was almost like an L or a J.
So what I'm assuming happened is it was fine when we threw them, but when the tide turned, it caught it. Put so when he threw it, here's your line of decoys.
We are using a Miller Lite can, a Corona can, and a hard cider can.
And your anchor is my phone.
But
when that tide turns, whatever slack was right here that was keeping in line with tide could have pushed, and now your slack could have been off center. And now it's right here.
I thought it was the one with the anchor on it that was kicked out.
It was. Yeah, your anchor is my phone.
I threw
your anchor could have been.
I threw a little bit too much slack.
Yeah, your anchor could have been offset, and when the tide pushed, it pushed it up.
I throw slack in mine, and I know a lot of guys that run long lines. They'll only weight one end.
Yes, and then when the tide switches it kicks. But with a raft.
But I run the raft, so I want both ends pinned down. And I personally like having both ends pinned down because those decoys stay where I want them. And, you know, I get it. Like, especially if we were even in bigger water yet to what we're in. If the tide switches around, you have those long lines far enough apart, they're not going to knock into each other or whatever. But especially for me using a raft, yeah, I just rather I pin it down. And if it gets bad enough, like if all the decoys on the raft spin the other direction, we'll just pick it up and move it. It's not
exactly.
It's not that big of a deal. Like that raft, I've drugged that fucking thing. I've drug it. And like I said, I'm not knocking Southern Flyway. I think they have a little bit of room for improvement. But it works good.
Yeah.
And they want to be on top of that thing.
Oh, absolutely. And even the seagulls do.
Even seagulls, Even seagulls will stand on it.
They don't want to be. They are on top of it.
Yeah, they're on it. They will stand on the raft. They will
just stand there,
yeah.
I'm getting desperate now.
Getting desperate? Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, Warm Keystone has entered the chat.
Oh, boy. Here, throw it in there.
You're good, Bug. I need to drink these anyway.
Yeah, I just it's just been a learning process, and I've done pretty good with it so far. It's not rocket science, but you just got to figure it out.
It's not rocket science; it's common sense.
Exactly, just got to figure it out.
Actually,
Actually, all you got to do is go out there and do it, and you'll figure it out fast. You'll figure it out faster than you think. Just go out there and do it.
That's what I learned with goose hunting. Just the more you do it, the more you figure out how these birds, what the birds like, what they don't like, what they're figuring out. What I thought was wild. Now I know with the low profile boat.
Yeah.
I guess low profile boat, but with 6'38" John on the back end.
Yeah.
And you know Ryan's the shortest out of all of us, and you're still 5'8", 5'9".
5'6" with my boots on.
Ooh, short king. Anyway,
I found one. She's fine with it.
Anyway, I mean, we still even crouched down. We're a foot and a half above the gunnel of that boat.
Yeah. My boat.
The nut, yes.
Well, what it is, I had the biggest guy all the way in the back where they're the lowest, if you know what I mean. Up in the bow.
Well, no,
a little bit deeper.
What I was going to say about that, the nuttiest thing about that was a lot of the birds we killed came from bow to stern, swung in the wind, went up over the transom, like right here, and then came down into the decoys. Yep. They didn't care about that boat at all.
That's because most of the boats I feel like they see are like fishing boats or crabbing boats.
That
like,
part of the year, yes.
And it was opening day.
Yeah.
And I kept telling John, like, all right, don't look at him. Don't look at him.
He's looking right at him.
And he didn't. After I
he did good because he even did good when we took him out.
Yeah, I just
he did pie face the first couple birds.
Yeah,
and I was like,
whoa.
I'll let you know when to look up. You're good.
Yeah. And I said, I'll tell you when to shoot. Don't worry. But yeah, they were hooking around the back of the boat. And what it was, they were coming around. They saw the decoys. They're like, "Oh shit!" They kind of had not direct tailwind, but they were getting pushed, so they would circle back around to land into the wind. You know, every bird does that.
Yep, they want to land into the wind.
The only difference with birds, where like with puddle ducks compared to a diver and a sea duck, they will fly over each other to land.
Yes,
where a puddler will not do that. They're not going to fly and land directly. You know what I mean? Over
and
top of another bird. Like most of the time you set mallard decoys, it's like the most classic spread you've ever seen. You have 6 on the left, you got a dozen decoys, 6 on the left, 6 on the right, hole in the center.
Yep.
And they'll come around into it. They're not going to try to land directly over top of the
They're
other
not
birds.
going to land in a group of birds.
No.
Well, I shouldn't say that, but they're not going to land in the swarm of the birds. They're going to pick a pocket.
They might land in the. Sometimes they'll land in the swarm, but they'll be on the edge of it. They don't want to. They don't want to be landing directly over top of another bird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So where the Scoter and the sea ducks and divers, they will go right over top of another, like those decoys, another bird, and land.
Yeah, and that was my biggest thing when we hunted with Jeff was like. So we had killed Scoter before, but we had killed him kind of flying over.
Yeah,
we didn't really kill any truly decoying birds.
Yeah. We had some decoys.
We did. We
weren't even waiting that long. If they were close enough,
shoot them.
And that was a point I'm getting into was like it's just wild watching them like tap dance down the line.
Oh, yeah.
Literally sitting there, touchdown,
Yep.
touchdown. And then they're like, we'll just keep going.
Yeah, they want to get where it's tight. They like to land in that ball of birds. Like, oh, let me see what they're up to. Let me eat too.
Here?
And that's the one thing that I know for a fact, and we talked about this on the boat. I know for a fact that I need to learn with these sea ducks is patience.
Yeah.
And I think after that first group, when we went, and I also completely forgot, like John never really shoots ducks.
Yeah.
So, you were trying to set them up, which is great because what he did finally, that last shot.
The last shot.
That was a good shot.
Yeah,
that
he
was
starfish
like,
one of them right in the head. Boop! Yeah. Like, damn.
Like, from my point of view, now, granted, I didn't have the sun on my face because I had the visor. So I'm looking through the visor, and that bird's, like, tap dancing right there, like, 20 yards. I'm like, you guys going to shoot him?
Well, what I was waiting on, what it is, we had a young buck with us.
Yeah.
And that's his first time he ever ducked on. I mean,
Second time.
Second time. So
that's the first time he actually got one. Now.
Yes.
What 17-year-old can say his first duck was a sea duck? You know,
Yeah,
there's not too many.
A night. Well, no, he did shoot a hen, but
Still,
yeah,
I'm like
a sea duck.
So what it was, I was waiting for those ducks to run down the rope, and wait till they got kind of.
Not the hen you shot.
We'll get there, but I waited until they came past 12 o'clock. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That way, because I knew if he missed, those birds were going to haul, and then that left me, Ryan, and you, and we did pretty damn okay.
Yeah.
So, we shot a lot of shells, but
Hey, that was his first, not his first duck hunting trip ever, but it's like that'll humble your ass real quick. Because
and he even kept saying like, "Holy shit, these things are cruising," and I'm like,
cruising,
"Dude,
This
the way
ain't
we're
even
shooting
half
at
of
them."
it,
and you're sitting on a boat just moving.
Oh, Dad mentioned that. He said that was like the hardest thing ever.
It's just something you got to get used to.
Yep.
And I'm not saying it takes years and years of practice, but you have to. It's just something you have to do. You have to do it.
Yeah.
You got to counteract because Ryan was talking about standing up, and I'm like, dude, that's the worst thing you can do.
I don't like
because then you're fighting
up.
your balance and the boat and your gun.
But it's not just that too. I found, especially being on the boat and the layout boat, the more you think about it, the more likely you're gonna miss. Like
absolutely,
when
the
they
more
come
you're
in
like,
and they
oh, shit.
surprise me, and like
Yeah.
if you guys missed and like I had the shot, like that one that I got and I had the shot,
Yeah.
I didn't even think. I just went up and you kind of just
Done.
yeah.
Now, you
But like
dusted a
if
few
you're
of 'em.
thinking about compensating, like I feel like you get in
don't
your
think
head and
too
it
far
fucks
into
you
it.
all
You
up.
just focus
Yeah.
on your beat. Your body will do the rest.
Not
especially.
even the beat. It was like, all right, this is really stupid of me, but like that one shot I took really wasn't the beat. It just felt like it felt. I don't know.
Fluid.
I don't understand how to explain it. It felt like I was right, and I pulled the trigger, and it
And
was
that's
right.
the beauty of sea duck hunting to me. It's just no calls. I mean, no, I love calling birds.
Oh, I hate calling ducks.
Yeah, I love calling birds.
I'm pretty
but
decent at calling. You're
You're
ducks,
right. I
but
would rather
hate
call.
doing it.
I'd rather call geese and ducks
Absolutely.
any day.
The best part about sea duck hunting is like, I have my calls. They're going in the bag.
Yeah,
ain't gotta worry about around your
like I said,
neck.
I love calling birds, but it's just no bullshit. When they come in, just sit there and
Here,
get ready
ducky.
get ready to click that safety off because when they're coming, they are coming,
Absolutely.
and they keep coming.
Yes.
And I love it.
Heartburn.
And the main reason why I started open water hunting, I'd only shot a couple Scoter, in my life, just out of random. We're sitting there and like kind of at the mouth of a ditch out there, and in the coastal zone, and every one dumb Scoter that would come into the mallard, pintail, and gadwall decoys, he just comes cruising up and bow like.
So you have shot Scoter
I have
before?
shot Scoter before, yeah. I shot 2, but it was just like, oh, that's crazy, And after I shot him, I started looking into it, and I was like, I think we went over this in previous podcasts, but I bought a sneak box. I started duck hunting again. I'm like, this is the most boring shit. Now, don't get me wrong, sneak box is pretty cool. You hide in plain sight.
Yeah,
like
you can go anywhere and
it's
do
awesome.
anything with it.
But dude, I'm sitting there. I like the camaraderie of duck hunting.
Oh, 100%.
I'm sitting there by my fucking self in this
Yeah.
sneak box. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Some of the conversations we have, like I
Exactly.
giggle about all week long, like the
Yeah.
fucking
Cracking your holes.
Yeah.
A harbor seal jumping on the transom.
like the white dude that made the rap song.
Yes, that song.
About a various fast food chain.
Hot roast,
Cranberries.
cranberries.
Knick knack.
That was. Did you ever see the football? They were on College Game Day, and they were talking about Jalen Milroe, who's the quarterback of Alabama right now, and his shirt says LANN.
Yeah.
And if anybody can figure out what that means,
I don't understand what that means.
no.
Yeah.
So he
doesn't start with an N.
or Lank, Lank.
Yeah.
So the guy starts going off, and he's like, "Yeah, so Jaden Miller's got his shirt, and this guy's white as white."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, Jaden Miller's got his T-shirt brand, and it's been on the news and everything, and it's let a naysayer know." And Pat McAfee sitting next to him, going, he just stands up in the middle of the broadcast and goes, "I thought we were all getting fired."
Yeah.
Oh,
Naysayer.
man. Yeah.
I'm glad the whole open water thing, I started doing it. I always wanted to do it, but I just saw guys doing it, and they're out there in a Banks boat. I'm like, shit, that's a $60,000 boat. Like, these guys that were doing it that I saw, I'm like,
even the duck water and the duck boss 13 foots are
I know.
$15,000 boats used.
Yeah, and I will say this. I mean, we went with Jeff, and I'm glad we went with Jeff because his boat. I just wanted to say I took a ride on that thing. Just say I saw it in person. That's pretty cool.
It's a crazy
And
ass boat.
I'm a welder, and I love aluminum boats. I've had fiberglass boats, whatever, but I do like an aluminum boat. I prefer aluminum.
100%. I agree
less
with
less bullshit, less maintenance,
you can
whatever.
fix it yourself.
Yeah, if I run a tree stump right through that thing, I know a guy can weld a hole up, whatever. But from seeing the boats like the Banks, I've seen them up close and personal. I've looked at them. I've looked at the TBDs and all that, but I gotta say, duck water, like, it's not as clean as a fiberglass, but like the edges aren't as clean. It is hand welded. Like,
Yeah.
But dude, that boat is a tank. Everyone I've seen,
And it rides very nicely.
very nice for what it is.
Yes.
And there's not even an ounce of foam in that boat. Once he gets, I forget what it is. Once you get past 25 feet, you don't
need foam.
You don't need flotation foam. So it's like, man, this thing.
Pug, there's two of us. I'm not kidding when I say, like, if we sat down over a summer and had the funds to buy the aluminum,
Yeah.
We don't have the funds.
we may eventually have the funds.
Yeah, in
But-
30 years.
I looked into it. Building a homemade boat in Jersey, you can't
It's
do
a
it.
pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. You have to get it Coast Guard inspected and
State police inspected.
state police. And the Coast,
Okay, you got to get
whatever.
it
Some
inspected. If we
state
make
government
it, if we
inspects
made
it.
it right, I love TIG aluminum. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
And then you can never sell it though.
That's fine. I don't plan on it.
That was. I mean, I wasn't worried about that either, but that was a thing too. I don't know if it was PA or Jersey. I looked at all of them.
Jersey, you can't sell.
Yeah, I'm
We
pretty
get
sure.
the use out of it. We'll fucking scrap that thing.
Yeah,
It's still gonna be
exactly.
worth a lot of money. Are you kidding me?
Take it to
We'll get
Giordano's.
10 years, dude. 10 years out of that
Yeah.
thing. Fucking, we're tired of repairing
Yeah.
the holes or whatever else.
Yeah.
Fucking take it to the scrap yard and get at least some of our money back.
Like I said, it's not. Those holes aren't as clean as a fiberglass hole is a mold.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't get any.
You could make
crisper
it
than
that clean though.
But like those boats, like they're hand welded, hard edges, and you know what though? I loved it. I loved it.
Oh, I think that was one of the coolest looking boats I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
You could roll the aluminum. I feel like
Yeah, I
if
was
we
gonna
really
say, hold on. Now we're buying. Hold on. Now we're buying metal. We got to buy a brake. We got to buy a cutter.
who said anything about a brake?
How you gonna bend the metal?
Make a little frame and beat it down.
Oh my god.
It's doable. Buggy's taking a bathroom break. Please hold. Hold on.
Ryan, you got anything to add here?
I was gonna play the please hold music.
Oh, okay. Or no, hold on. While we do it, we can talk about me trapping. I know we kind of got into it. So far this year, I've checked a total of 13 traps.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 2 for 13. So I didn't set all 6 opening day and that following Saturday because I was really lazy and I just quit vaping. So I was kind of testy first thing in the morning.
He's a little cranky boy.
I was first thing Saturday morning. I didn't want to do anything, and then Friday night I didn't get to set traps till like 6 o'clock Friday. And now with daylight savings time, it's like 6 o'clock. It's midnight. So and I didn't have a headlamp, so I was using my damn phone light the whole time. And then Saturday or Sunday, I ended up pulling 2 of those traps because I got permission. I got permission from down the road from Uncle Millard and Dad's house now. I just gotta wait till after
Deer season.
Well,
yeah.
One thing I was gonna say, and I know I've said it before on here. I don't know if I said it with Buggy, but the odds are, and I remember I kind of half-ass tracked it last year. It's 1 raccoon per spot, maybe 2, but 1 a person per spot.
That's our odds.
Yeah.
Colby just caught 18 and 17 back-to-back days.
Colby is a freak of nature and running 60 traps at least.
56 traps.
Okay.
He runs 56 dog proofs.
Yes.
And he caught 2 coyotes today.
Okay. and his buddy caught a fox. I saw that too.
Yeah, Jamie caught a fox.
That's
They're
pretty
part of
bad.
the team thing we're doing.
But what I'm saying, like, for what we have, for the amount we put out, and what we use, and everything else like that, it averages one per person per spot.
Yeah,
And I'm okay with that as long as we keep up with that. Like, I'm going to hit my usual spot that's on the way home from work when I start doing it, and stuff
just
like that.
Ease into it, figure it out, because there's no shortage of raccoon in it.
No,
Oh, no.
absolutely.
I mean, you guys think it's like bad here. Like, you look at your trail cameras and that your corn is going, all that. Pennsylvania, I mean, I coon hunt in PA quite a bit. Competition hunting. Holy shit. Holy
Everywhere.
shit. Holy shit.
I'm going to bring it up again just because I love this image that Tyler had last year. The raccoon fluffer, the buck mounting the doe, and there's a raccoon there sitting in the stands like this. The raccoon fluffer.
Yeah. I think that would make a great sticker. Just a portrait sticker.
Not just that. Like, I would like a poster of that. I want him to send that. I would like a poster of that on the
I'll
wall.
get
That literally makes me laugh every time I see it. The raccoon sitting there like this, and there's two deer fucking in the background.
Yeah, you guys are figuring it out, though. You're doing it. For me, all I've been doing is Scoter hunting. That's it. I haven't shot a deer. It's probably, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
I'm still not all that pressed on deer. I'm gonna do winter bow, but
I know. You got to bring your trail camera back. So
I've never been a trophy hunter. I haven't had the patience for that, but I've shot quite a few does and just shithead bucks, like nothing special. But for me, it was always putting meat in the freezer. That's
what I'm saying.
That's still the main goal for me. Like,
deer is my favorite meat.
Yeah.
Deer is by far.
I have to say, and I know what I made. If I could cook Scoter like that, and even with the quesadillas I made, because Riley had them, and he's like, "Is this teal?" I'm like,
No.
No,
No, but thank you very
Maryland
much.
Scoter.
It's a teal's ugly, darker cousin with face makeup on.
But I think duck meat's my favorite wild game. Duck meat and frog legs. Actually, I had the conversation about that at work today.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Frog legs are so fucking good.
Last night I had those deer steaks
You let the liquor
perfect.
talk? Oh wait, Zach Bryan might sue us.
That's Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, I know, but that's okay. You're not up with pop culture right now.
I'm not. All I know is that everybody thinks he's a douchebag. He's ruining a music career. That's my thoughts on that.
I mean, he's been telling everybody he's a piece of shit this whole
I was gonna
time.
say.
You ever listen to any of his music?
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair.
he's been
putting
telling
it
us
out
all.
there.
He's put it out there.
Yeah,
Just
but-
nobody wanted to hear it.
How do you make your girlfriend sign an NDA? Like, what the fuck?
Well, when you offer $12 million, I'll sign that shit.
I'm
I
saying,
won't say a word.
I'm saying there's a lot of people that sign NDAs that we have no clue about. A lot.
Like everybody that
The
came in
Epstein
contact
list?
with Diddy.
Yeah, exactly.
With who?
Everybody that came in contact with Diddy probably had to sign an NDA.
100%. Except
Isn't
for
it
that
crazy?
One
Do you
chick
think-
that slipped through the cracks.
Yeah.
Do you think you have to be a shithead to get that far in a career like that?
No.
I guess you're just protecting yourself, even if you're not up to shady business.
But
I don't know.
What is the correlation between millionaires and having like big oily parties?
Because you have so much money that you... okay, here's the perfect thing.
Okay, have the oily
No,
party,
hold
but
on.
don't partake
No,
and don't
stop.
beat women in a hotel hallway.
That's so you guys know who Daniel Tosh is. Tosh.0.
He's wild.
Who's
yeah.
that?
He made the comment at one point. He said, yeah, he was talking about LeBron. And how
Yeah.
LeBron was going on this crazy streak and everybody hated him. He goes, yeah, if I had $18 million as a 19-year-old, I'd be jacking off on rollerblades around L.A.
Yeah,
and nobody
exactly.
would say a fucking thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, that's Daniel. He just has some issues.
Yeah, he's got some problems. He's got a bunch of money, though, so he's fine.
I would shit on stage and make you come and pick it up and hand you a $100 bill. And you'd be like, well, I guess I'm picking up his shit now.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
I don't remember where I was.
I'm glad I
before
don't have
that, but
billionaire
it's fine.
problems.
Yeah.
I wish I
Mo
had
money,
those.
mo problems.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know entirely about that, but
I like having non-running piece of shit vehicles that are
Hey,
a possibility
same.
of
Wow.
running someday, but
hey, I hate a truck payment, but when I auto start that thing every day and she goes, it's like, damn, all right.
We in the money now.
Yeah.
This morning-
You know what? I'm not even going to bitch anymore.
this morning he was making fun of me because I went on Aston Martin and priced out the car I wanted
Yeah.
that I'll never get.
Just bookmark it.
It's
for
at
later.
least $600,000.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Yeah. I would drive it. I'd wrap that thing around a pole if I had enough money to buy that. Fuck yeah.
It's like Uncle Brad and that Corvette that Dad always talked about.
Yeah, if you've got the money to buy something like that, whatever.
Whistling Diesel's buying a Bugatti, so let's see how many people squirm over that one.
Yeah, right.
He test drove it. He was very happy. That thing's going to be fucking strong.
Yeah, well, did you see what he did with the Lambo?
Lambo ain't nothing. Bugattis are like... They're going to sue the shit out of him for that one.
Yeah.
All right, I got a question for you, Bug.
Yep.
So we did this with the last podcast we did. So
Yeah.
as you've probably heard, we do a Patreon now.
Length or girth?
That boy got his girth certificate.
Dude, hold on. Speaking of stuff we talked about, wetter than an otter's pocket.
Wetter than an otter's pocket. That's my favorite term ever.
You got Cowboy Plowboy. I'm going to get wetter than an otter's pocket across my fucking chest.
If I ever owned a bar, which I don't think I ever would, it would be on Bar Rescue. I would call it the Otter's Pocket. I don't think I ever would own one, but because you can't own a bar and drink at it, so why would I even bother?
You can't drink at your own bar?
I mean,
you can, but if you watch Bar Rescue,
you'll be
I worked at a bar and I was fucking shit-faced all the time.
You're also underage working at a bar.
No, I was overage.
Oh, were you?
Half of it.
Anyway, so with the Patreon, we're looking to get a couple like special interviews. Would you be interested in that? After?
yes, I'll do it. That's fine.
Okay. So if you guys want, we're gonna end the episode here. If you want to hear the exclusive Patreon interview with Buggy, it's just going to be a couple dumb questions, see his take on some stuff. Check it out in the link in anywhere you find our link tree. Got anything else, Ryan?
Nope, but I know my first question for the Patreon interview.
Okay. Bug, you got anything else you want to talk about?
No. I mean, I'll end it with this. My favorite oyster.
Is it moister?
My favorite oyster is probably, they're hard to find. I've already got in touch with them. They don't sell retail yet, but Southern State Oyster is my favorite oyster.
All right. Southern State Oysters, sponsor Buggy.
Yeah, we'll see.
If you send us a bushel, we'll suck them down.
As soon as they get that retail license, I'm buying a whole sack.
All right, guys.
Like Santa Claus running around with a bag full of oysters.
Thank you for listening. Tune in next week and check out the Patreon.
Be like Oprah, you get an oyster. You get an